Hey coin collectors, welcome to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to look at some half dollars from the United States. We're going to look at the 1940 Walking Liberty half dollar, the 1960 Franklin half dollar, and the 1980 Kennedy half dollar. We're also going to talk about the half dollars that came before, the Barber half. Here's a 1909. And we're going to talk about the current half dollar. They still make the half dollar, it turns out. Here's a 2025 Kennedy half dollar from the United States. But let's start with this one here on the left, and that is the Walking Liberty half dollar. And the reason that it's called the Walking Liberty half dollar is that Liberty is kind of walking towards the sunrise. There is an American flag over Liberty's shoulder, and it's hard to see the stars in there, but there are stars and stripes there, and she's holding this bouquet of different plants, this long flowing skirt, kind of a semi-heeled sandal-like shoe, and here's the sun rising. This image comes almost directly from a French coin called the Sower, and this was designed by Adolph A. Weinman and first came out in 1916. And this coin is a silver coin, 90% silver, 10% copper. So today, just in silver value alone, this coin is going to be worth about $19 or $20. You can see that there is no brown like the newer clad coins. We tip it over onto the back and we see it says United States of America, E pluribus unum, half dollar here. It's an eagle on a rock with a kind of cactus-like plant coming off to the side here. If there is a mint mark on the Standing Liberty, it's over here in this little space between the cactus and the rock. This one doesn't have a mint mark. It means it's from Philadelphia. We're only going to talk about the highest auction values today on these coins. We're not going to talk about the run-of-the-mill coins like this. This coin is worth very little. Of course, it's worth 50 cents. You could spend it if somebody would take it from you, but its value is all in the silver. The collector value is actually less than the $20 in silver value. The auction record for one of these Philadelphia ones, $29,375. To get that, you're going to have all the details in the flag, all the details in the face. You're going to have to be able to see the fingers really well. You're going to have to be able to see all the feathers on the eagle on the back and all the little fronds on this cactus-like plant. But this is not that half dollar. This one is worth silver. The highest value for this is the silver value. So watch out, because people are going to start melting these, and they're going to be harder to collect because they're worth so much in silver. They also made this at the San Francisco Mint. They made $4.5 million, and the auction record for a San Francisco Mint Standing Liberty half, $35,000. In 1948, they changed the half dollar in the United States, and they came out with the Franklin half. And the Franklin half only lasted for about 15 years, and of course you know why, and that's because John F. Kennedy was assassinated, and the Kennedy half came in. But in 1960, Franklin half still going strong. It says Liberty at the top, in God we trust here, 1960. And if we turn it way over to the side, we see same thing, silver on the side. United States of America at the back, half dollar. The mint mark is going to be way up here, and as a D for the Denver Mint, E pluribus unum here, and an eagle over here. So there is still an eagle on the half. These coins, you determine a value by whether you can see the lines across the bell and whether you can see the words on it. Full bell lines means these lines go all the way across. Can't see that on here. This, again, is 90% silver, 10% copper. So this is worth about $20 in silver value also. The collector's value is below the silver value at this point. So again, watch out for these because they might not last forever. In 1960, they made these at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and they made a proof coin at the Philadelphia Mint. So here's what the proof coin looks like, and you can see all the lines and everything. But on a proof coin, the full bell lines don't really count because they're expected to be there. But you just see how shiny this is. There's different levels of proof. This is just a regular proof coin, but if you have one where the polish looks different on the bell and on Franklin, that could be a deep cameo proof. For deep cameo proof in 1960, $27,600 is the auction record. For a Denver coin, 1960, $12,000 is the auction record. And a Philadelphia coin, which would have no mint mark up here, and that would be this coin right here. No mint mark means Philadelphia, and this one actually has some lines on it. A full bell lines Philadelphia from 1960 can go for as much as $28,200. So these could be very expensive coins, but they have to be in incredibly good shape. In 1964, the Kennedy half came out. President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, came out with the silver Kennedy half in 1964. 1965 through 70, they went from 90% silver to 40% silver. But from 1971 on, these coins were clad halves. They are a copper-nickel blend on the front, copper-nickel blend on the back, and 100% copper on the inside. You see again, here's that eagle. United States of America, E pluribus unum is on a banner in the eagle's beak, holding an olive branch and some arrows. Right down here you see an FG for Frank Gasparo, the engraver of this coin. United States of America, $50 at the bottom. You see there are 50 stars around here, and then there are 13 stars in the middle. There's 9 above the banner and 4 down here next to the banner. So the original 13 colonies around the pluribus unum. The Kennedy halves from 1980, the Philadelphia auction record is $3,840. The Denver auction record, $4,935. And the San Francisco auction record is $920 for a deep cameo. And here is a cameo from 1980. So this is a San Francisco mint coin. You can see the S here, and you can see that President Kennedy's, it's just polished different, and that's what they call a cameo or a deep cameo coin. And let's look at the back of that also. And you can see that the eagle comes off the back also in this mirror-like finish on the recessed areas. In 1980, they made it at the Denver Mint, and you can tell that because there's a D here. The Philadelphia Mint, and of course, this one we just looked at, the San Francisco Mint. Now, before they had the Standing Liberty half, they had the Barber half dollar. And the Barber half dollar has Liberty facing to the right, and God We Trust above Lady Liberty, 1909 here. And you see that we have stars on here, 7 on this side, 6 on this side. So 13 stars for the original 13 colonies. This is a 1909. The Barber half went through 1915. It says United States of America at the top. On the back, again, we have the eagle. Again, we have the 13 stars. It says E pluribus unum, but this one's so worn you can just see some of the letters. You can see the URB, and over here, UN. Again, if you remember the Kennedy half, of course, we got the eagle holding the arrows in the olive branch, and here we have the same thing, eagle with a banner in its mouth holding arrows in the olive branch. And on the back of the Barber half, there's the S there, and that's from the San Francisco Mint. So when they did the Kennedy half, they actually took the old Barber half image and upped it a little bit and made it very similar, though, and that's where this Kennedy half image comes from. They still make the Kennedy halves. You can only get it by ordering it from the U.S. Mint or getting it from a dealer or collector who's bought some. So here's a 2025 Kennedy half. You can see this is a Philadelphia one. And here's a 2025 Denver half, and there's the D down there. They also made it at the San Francisco Mint, but those are only proof coins. In 2025, they made $8.8 million at Denver 8.2 million at Philly so far. At least the last numbers they've released have been in July, so probably about 17 to 20 million total for the year. They also made it in a silver, and they made perhaps around 50,000 silver Kennedy halves, and they made it in a San Francisco proof clad coin, and they made about 300,000 of those. Collect these Kennedy halves. Look for the 1960, look for the 1940, look for the 1980 Kennedy half out there, and remember that all of the ones before 1964 and before are going to be 90% silver, worth about $20. The 1965 to 1970 Kennedy halves are going to be worth about 10 or 11 bucks. And that's just in silver value alone. All right, good luck coin collecting out there. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments, please put comments in the comment section.